So finally, in this video, we're going to be comparing the Pocket 6K and the Pocket 4K. As you all know, I've been shooting with both of these cameras for a little bit since I got the Pocket 6K. So today, I'm ready to give you guys my verdict. Just a couple of notes: if you haven't seen my Pocket 6K review, go ahead and check it out, because I'm not going to give you a full comparison because a lot of people have already done it. Basically, these two cameras are so similar to each other. And what I'm going to go over today is just the difference that I saw between these two cameras, just to keep it simple. With that being said, I have some notes so I don't forget anything. Let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to talk about is the depth of field, out of focus, bokeh, whatever you want to call it. Now, people say that a bigger sensor has a little bit more depth of field and a smaller sensor has a little bit less depth of field. Now, this is the case with the Pocket 6K and the Pocket 4K. If you take the lens and shoot at a wider angle, let's say an 18mm on both the cameras, you're gonna see there's a slight depth of field change, but zoomed in on a really tight crop, tight shot, I honestly can't even tell the difference between the two cameras when using the same lens. I'll be curious to see if Blackmagic comes out with a Pocket 6K full frame version later on, and then maybe we can see a lot more difference. But for now, between these two, unless you really like depth of field or out of focus bokeh, then you are gonna see it. But if you're not looking for it, you probably won't even notice it. Okay, the next topic we're gonna talk about is dynamic range. I can safely say that the Pocket 6K has a slight, ever so slightly better dynamic range than the Pocket 4K. It's so small, guys, that to me, and especially on YouTube, you probably won't see or tell the difference. Now in post-production, you probably see a little bit of a better highlight recovery in the highlights on the Pocket 6K, but that's, again, pixel peeping in my opinion. So Pocket 6K wins dynamic range, but by just a little bit. Okay, so let's talk about recording options. Like I said earlier, these two cameras are very similar to each other, but what I'm gonna tell you guys is what I used to use from the Pocket 4K, and that's actually downgrading my firmware to 4.1, giving me back Cinema DNG, because in my opinion, Cinema DNG actually yields better results than braw on the Pocket 4K, and I know you guys can hate me for saying that, but I'm gonna give it to the Pocket 4K because you do have that option on downgrading your firmware and getting Cinema DNG. Additionally, if you wanna shoot 4K braw, you can also do that in the Pocket 4K. On the 6K right now, as of today, you can't shoot 4K braw, you have to shoot ProRes. So recording options will go to the Pocket 4K. Alright guys, let's talk about color science for a second. Now, these two cameras are similar. Again, they're Generation 4 color science from Blackmagic design. Really nice outdoors. Now for indoors, I'm still working on trying to tweak pretty much the best setting. I'm actually using it right now, the Pocket 6K, just so I can find a nice indoor look. For outdoors, I absolutely love the color science of the Generation 4. Alright, let's talk about frame rates for a second. The Pocket 6K is obviously going to win this one because you can get a 6K, crazy, up to 50 frames per second, and you also get the 2.8K 120 frames per second, which is quite nice. So going from the Pocket 4K to the Pocket 6K, there is a slight bump in higher frame rates, so Pocket 6K will take slow-mo or higher frame rates. Okay, so the rolling shutter on these two cameras are very identical, but if I had to choose between the two, I would say I would give it to the Pocket 6K. I don't know, maybe just that bigger sensor really makes a difference, but to be honest guys, again, if you're pixel peeping, you might be able to see the difference between the two, but to me, I'm gonna have to give it to the Pocket 6K as far as rolling shutter goes. Alright, next topic is low light or high ISO settings. So we're gonna compare this both ways. If we're comparing the Pocket 4K to the 6K without a Metabone speed booster, I'm gonna have to give it to the Pocket 6K. It's just much cleaner and higher ISOs. ISO 3200 is pretty freaking clean in my opinion. Even at 5000, it gets pretty neat and clean without any noise reduction. But if we're talking about Pocket 4K, versus 6K, but the Pocket 4K has a Metabone Speed Booster XL, which gives you a stop and a third light intake, then obviously I'm gonna have to go with the Pocket 4K. Now, With my previous testing, I know a lot of people couldn't even tell the difference in low light, but I can guarantee you, if you take out the Metabone speed booster on the Pocket 4K and just compare them just the way they are, you're gonna see that the Pocket 6K just is a little bit better and cleaner in low light conditions. Okay, next topic was something that I was very excited about with the new Pocket 6K, and that is anamorphic mode shooting. The Pocket 6K, as you all know, has anamorphic 6.5, which has de-squeeze on the camera built in, which is absolutely amazing. Now in the Pocket 4K, you can still shoot anamorphic or DIY anamorphic like I do, because I can't freaking afford a real anamorphic lens, but you're gonna have to crop in post, which isn't really that bad. At the same time, you will have to get an anamorphic de-squeeze monitor so you can see what you're shooting properly. All right, guys, next topic is screen. Now for the screen, now they're supposed to be the same screen, but for some reason, and I don't know if resolution has something to do with this, the Pocket 6K just comes out a little bit crisper. Even when being seen by an untrained eye or something like that, they can automatically see that the Pocket 6K is better. If you look at this website, they're gonna say it's the same exact screen, but if you have them left and right, side by side, you're gonna see that the Pocket 6K just looks a little bit better than the Pocket 4K. It's much clearer and crisper. Okay, so let's talk about mount. All right, so we have Pocket 6K has an EF mount and the Pocket 4K has a Micro Four Thirds mount. Now, I'm talking about the mounts right now as of today, September 3rd. The Pocket 6K has EF mount, that's pretty much it. But the Pocket 4K, you can get a Metabone speed booster, you can get dumb adapters, which you can pretty much adapt this camera with a PL lens, EF lens, Nikon lens, contact Zeiss lens. So there's just so much, or by the way, Micro Four Thirds lens, almost forgot about that. So the Pocket 4K, as far as versatility goes, mount goes, I'm gonna have to give it to the Pocket 4K, because the Pocket 6K right now, you can adapt a EF mount on there, which is good, but that's pretty much it. Now for future, I already know some people working on a PL mount adapter, like a couple of companies actually working on a PL mount adapter for the 6K, but as of today, I'm gonna have to give it to the Pocket 4K because it's so versatile. You can mount pretty much any freaking lens on this camera. It's fantastic. Okay, so let's talk about the verdict. Who won, the Pocket 4K or the Pocket 6K? I know I liked a lot of the features on the new Pocket 6K, but if we're talking about collectively, overall, I absolutely think the Pocket 4K is still the best bang for your buck when it comes to cameras that can shoot RAW, 4K, slow-mo, cinema DNG, B-RAW, dual native ISO, and at the end of it all comes down to price. At $1,400, including DaVinci Resolve, the Pocket 4K is still a clear winner, especially when you're talking about speed boosters, mounting different lenses on it. I don't think anything can beat the Pocket 4K right now at this price point, even its bigger brother.